by fire, with a breeze on high. You'd be all that I desire. On the winds too, by the winter, on the August moon, burning above. You'd be nice just like paradise to come home to and
Woo!
haven't heard Dino in a while. He sounds great. I think this is Neil Minor on bass.
Okay.
Who's the drummer? Mark.
This is your record, right?
It is my. Well, it's not about that. It's about how long ago it was.
Okay, I can relate to that. My first record, I would have to think about that too.
Bass solos, huh?
You'd be nice to come home to. Oh, Daddy, you'd be real nice by the fire, with the breeze on high. Swing a lullaby. You'd be all that I desire. On the winds chill by the winter, on the August moon, burning above. You'd be nice just like paradise to come home, Daddy. Why don't you come home, Daddy? Coming home alone and on the phone. What you want? You're coming home. Why don't you come home, Daddy?
I love that you're laughing.
That is so delicious to listen to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, delicious.
I'm all about the groove, baby.
I know you are.
That was good to hear. I haven't heard that in a while. That particular track, for some reason, gets a lot of hits on Spotify.
Well, it's great, but also that song I think is really popular. It just is. I mean, maybe you and I think of it almost like, oh, we it's a real old chestnut, but it's really popular. Japan, right? Oh my God.
Oh
That
my,
is the
they love anything swinging in Japan because it's not an inherent trait.
No, but that song.
Yeah, oh, that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how you do these songs and you do them so much that you don't pull them out anymore. You get like you've done it to death and then
Yeah.
you're moving on to other things, you know.
Mhm.
But I could honestly stay in a medium groove the rest of my life and never move.
Me too. And a lot of times I feel like I should do something fast. I really should do something fast. And I've heard people, I remember listening to Rebecca Paris do really up-tempo stuff and swing her ass off. And I would always go, really should. I really should
Yeah.
do something fast, but I don't live in fast.
No, you're chill.
Yeah. I'm
You
chill,
are. You're
man.
chill, but we love that about you. I
Thanks,
just love
man.
that. I adore that about you. Recently spent some time with you, and it was like just, it was being like in a yoga studio.
And we didn't laugh at all. I remember we
No,
did not
now
laugh.
I'm remembering. All we did was laugh, so all our endorphins were constantly in a great place. We were like, "Yay!" Well, I do love to laugh. My grandmother was very funny.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm funny. My daughter's funny. I am funny in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Chill, but we love that.
Okay. Wow.
So,
Oh, Eric Cohen says Mark Taylor is the
yeah,
drummer.
I looked it up too. I was thanking him for that. I knew it was a T, but I kept wanting to say Thompson. I said no. And on that same record was also, so that's Dino Lucido. He's a bobster from up here, a swinging bobster. He's just, there's nobody got a pocket bigger than his.
And what is he playing?
He's a pianist foremost and then an organist second.
Yeah.
So,
He's not the guy you brought, right? To here.
yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Dino's good, and he's been with me a long time. There's a couple guys that I kind of switch between. We have a very limited pool here, unfortunately, where I live up on the lake in New York. So, but anyway, also on that record was Houston Person,
Oh, okay.
but he wasn't on that track. I wonder why.
He's such a great player.
Yeah.
He really is a great player. So, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, this is Nancy Kelly.
Uh, well, you gotta say it that way.
I think so. I think so.
I always have. What were you gonna say? Because I was gonna talk about this whole stage thing for a second. I don't know why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you experienced? I was talking to, I've talked to several of my peeps, my music peeps,
Yeah.
and we're all kind of experiencing this similar hole that's in our life, and it's an emotional connection to our people that come to our shows. There's a whole, like, it's a whole part of us that is just no longer there. And when you've done it as long as I have, which is a very, very long time, it feels like part of your life is missing. It really does. Are you experiencing that?
I'm experiencing, I'm not sure. I, I feel like it doesn't feel like a painful loss. You know how painful loss really feels, right? It's like, oh, it really sits on you and is with you all the time. I feel a little like I'm walking around in this empty room that was filled before, and I'm kind of like looking around, going, "Where did everything go?" That's a little bit more how I feel.
I think that's a
And
great description.
hmm,
That's
and
great. Yeah.
maybe because I'm doing these 6 days a week, I feel okay because I'm connected
Yeah, you're connected.
to so
Yeah.
many people. And yeah, I think that was probably part of what made me reach out and start doing it. And also I wanted to make people feel better, and it's kind of my MO to create things. So anyway,
And easy for you to do. From what I know of you, and we've known each other many years, um, you're much more of a historian and a curator than I am. I don't, I have my hands in a lot of pies. And you know a lot about jazz and the people that do it, and this is a perfect fit for you, Kath. It really
Oh,
is.
thanks. You
Yeah.
probably know a million billion people too, but it's just taking it to that different side. But you do a show on Sundays,
I
right?
do a show on Sunday nights live,
Yeah.
like this, from Zoom. And it's my co-host is Eric Cohen, who was the DJ at WAER in Syracuse. They were a Jazz Week reporting station. They canceled their jazz programming, and Eric's been not doing any of that for a while, anyways. And we always would have these. We've been friends forever, and we would have these. I tend to stay up late. We have these late night conversations, and I go, Eric, we need to do this in live because it's interesting. And so we started this show called Time Out, and we're doing a similar thing, only it's the two of us.
Yeah.
We've had on some local celebrities and we've had on some national celebrities.
Uh-huh.
People of interest,
Yeah, yeah.
people that have something to say.
Is it music people or other people?
Well, pretty much, pretty much.
Pretty much music.
Pretty much music. I'd have to look at the past shows. Eric, tell us. You're over here listening.
Yeah, he said
His
hi.
memory's better than mine because he's younger than I am.
And how long have you guys been doing it?
Oh gosh, we started I think a couple months now. We're
Oh,
on our 12th show.
you didn't tell me.
Oh, well, I don't know. We advertise it a lot.
Yeah.
It's on Sunday nights on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And
What time?
we have coming up this week a local fella. And
What
then the
time?
week
I'm
after
sorry,
that,
what time is it?
it's 7 p.m.
Okay, so
So
four
it's
my
your time. Yes, yeah.
days. Okay.
It's a tough slot. We learned later that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff in New York City going on, a lot of shows airing. I know Janice Siegel has the vocal show that they do. But we're finding that people rewatch. Are you finding that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
because people just sometimes they just don't want to sit around at that particular time, right?
Well, they're busy or whatever, and there's other things they're watching. This is our life now. This is what we do. This is how we stay in touch with our people. Is Zooming and
Yeah,
listening to other shows, and
yeah,
it's kind of been a blessing in a way, and you and I are lucky that we're both techie enough that we can pull it off.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You know what I miss more, and this is kind of stupid because it's all on me. I miss making music, and so and I don't go into the music room that much. And so that it's all on me, right? I have to
No, you're not the only one, and
work with
everyone has said
time.
they feel as though they have to nudge themselves to even do something. Now, you and I, luckily, are both teachers, so we do have that, and we are with these students, and music is in our lives in that form.
Yeah,
But it's not the same, and I find it hard to get myself to practice. I have a list, just a mile long of things I want to learn. Oh, it's just so hard to make myself do it.
yeah,
But I do it. I have a program that I use. I use it for teaching because while I am a classically trained pianist, I don't comp. I don't read I can read through a chord
yeah,
sheet, but not great. Not great
yeah.
enough to accompany someone.
Or
I'm just enough knowledge to be dangerous.
yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing, but so I have this program Band in a Box, which I find it just saves my life. I really,
Yeah, you have really developed that well,
I
better
think
than
I showed
most.
that to you. Didn't I show that to you?
You did. I mean, that's let's see, I know Greta Matassa I think she uses it also. And I have a friend in Austria, Leila Thigpen, who has used it for years as well. But you really have developed a great tool with it.
Well, they can have, we learn about all kinds of different grooves. feels. We learned the difference about how important it is finding the right key. You know, I can send it to them in limitless forms.
Yeah.
They learn just from that, and I think even better, they have music to sing to. That's legitimately good music. Of course, I have to fix the chords; they're almost all bad all the time. The way they are, you gotta like with the way you gotta check iReal Pro too. You have to check all the chords.
But you didn't you say that it's better than iReal Pro?
Well, it's
The
yes. Oh
music?
yeah, it's more much more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yeah, much.
And the band, right?
Well, there's a real musicians playing the parts. In fact, this is an interesting tidbit. So, for instance, I can make a chart, and Lewis Nash will be on drums.
Yeah.
Phil Woods will be on the horn. Uh, Ray Brown is on the bass. Like the real guys playing. And Kenny Werner on piano. I mean, but there's more. There's all kinds. So I had spoke to Mike Ladon in New York. Do you know Mike?
I don't.
He's the organist. He's the house guy at Smoke.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's been there a long time. He's really blessed with a great chair there, indeed. He told me what they did, and I thought it was so amazing. He said the Band in the Box people brought him in, and he played for 2 weeks straight in every key, in every feel.
Wow.
How about that? I'm thinking, nice gig. I bet they paid some nice piece of change,
Yeah, no kidding.
you know? But it did.
So they do that with a whole bunch of people, and then
Yeah.
they take, like, let's say they take him and they apply him to a song, to one song, or
Somehow, I don't know the specifics of how the computer picks it. But when the chords are entered, it knows how to look for that.
so
You know,
interesting.
and I think the one downfall of it is it's really not geared for backing singers because there's no space.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's no so you have to find a really simple piano version of whatever you're putting in there. Otherwise, they're like jazz cats and they're all over. They're in between the bars. You know, they're all over everything. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
sing over that. You
right.
know, because I've been doing it. Well, I can sing over that. You can sing over that, but
Yeah.
someone just learning can't.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't find my note.
You can't
You
take
know,
out,
probably not.
yeah. You can't take out an instrument. I mean, like take out the sax or something. Or,
I do. You can do that's. You can do. I find just putting there's a guy you can use that does just that Freddie Green style of guitar.
oh,
You know,
yeah.
that chunka chunka. It's just so that's easy for them to sing to because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
rhythm. You
yeah.
know, and the chords are straight.
Yeah.
So works out pretty good. Yeah,
That was
I'm
my
very happy to
that
have it.
was
I
my
forgot.
father.
I was. I'm
That
sorry.
was
What?
my father's way of. He was a band leader, and that was his favorite guitar sound. Chunka, chunka, chunka.
Well, me too. Me too. And oh, I know what I was going to say before that. Is you started this segment of our conversation saying we're not playing, we're not making music. And I have also been lucky because I have Pro Tools at home and I have a recording set up. I have the mic and I got the whole thing.
Oh,
And so I've done I think 4 or 5 collabs right already.
oh,
So someone will I'll give the pianist the key, the feel of what I want. I don't tell them specifically what I want because I want them to just do whatever they want so that it comes to me in some interesting form that I can do something
yeah,
with. And then a couple of those I just sang with that, which is very, very challenging. And because you have to sync it up. So what I'm doing is I extract the audio track from the iPhone video, which you do in iMovie. I'm now moved on to Final Cut Pro, which is, I have no right even opening it. it's, it's for professional. I hack around like YouTube videos, see how to do this. It's like, if I got any other thing to do besides this, apparently not. So, so you extract the audio, and then I take that wave and I put it in Pro Tools, and I set my iPhone up and I sing to the audio that's in my headset.
Right.
And you can't fix it. You got to put out there what's out there. What came on the video because of the video. You know how in the studio we go, "Oh man, I really loved that line, but that one note."
Now, do you ever have people send you MP3s?
Well, I prefer the WAV files because
I
they're
mean,
big.
or waves? I mean, not like an iPhone video.
No, the video all has to be done at once.
Oh, what do
Have
you
you
mean?
seen one of them? Do you want to see one of them?
Yeah,
Uh, how can I share?
yeah,
I can.
yeah. Now,
That's
when you
so
go to
magnanimous of you.
thank you. When you go to share, there's a button that you can also pick at the bottom left. I think on yours, like mine, and it says share computer sound. Be sure that's checked because it has better sound.
Here's well, it'll take me a minute to find it. I don't mean to.
So you're talking about uh, you and the piano player both videoing and editing it together, right? And then the end product is like a video with you two
Yeah,
in it.
but I'm the one doing all the production work.
Right.
So they
And
send it to me. So I'll show you this little one where everybody likes this one. What do I do? I stop it. Let me finish explaining before we try and share it. So he sends me the audio and the video all in one.
on the iPhone.
Yeah, that movie. It comes in a movie form.
Right. Okay.
And when you put the movie in iMovie,
Yeah.
you have the option of extracting the audio.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And so then I can sing to the audio. In fact, what I honestly do is practice to it because you have to you gotta find out what the ending is like because there's no charts, there's nothing to read. You're just listening to what he's doing. Well, how did he end this thing?
Yeah.
'Cause once
Right.
I start making a video,
Yeah.
can't do it. So then I make my own video, and then I take all that and put it in this movie software called Final Cut Pro. And the real bugger is trying to line it up, like getting it perfectly lined up, because it's all been separated. So now we have to put it all back together. It's
Oh,
a lot of
you're a
work.
step above me, man.
Well, but it's my way of staying out there with music. In fact, it's been great because I think people that didn't know about me are now noticing a little bit because I have never had a good video. Never. Nothing's ever been made for me that looks they're all like, somebody standing back in the crowd type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever been out there that's any good. So this is good stuff in my opinion. And when I play this, do you want me to play the whole thing or just a little bit of it?
Oh, it's
Well, I
what
could
is
just
it?
show
Like
you up to
is
a
it
little bit.
is it a few choruses?
This is it's 3
You might
minutes
have,
long.
oh, play the whole thing.
Really?
Yes.
All right, so now let me see. When I go to share, this is a wonderful pianist who lives in Rochester, New York. And Andy's one of those guys that just plays everything. I mean, there isn't anything that he doesn't do legitimately. But he has a recording studio, and he also happens to be my grandson's piano teacher.
Oh. Cool.
So let me see.
So share the computer sound once you pick share. It's down, it should be down at the left. There's a little box to click off.
How do I make this? Do you see that now?
I don't see it yet.
Do you see it now?
Did you hit share?
I'm sorry, I'm a little slower at this than
There you
you are.
go. That's it. Now, beautiful.
Do you see it? Do I need to make it bigger so you don't see all this other silly
It's already
stuff?
bigger.
It's already.
Yeah, it's already filling the screen.
Can you hear it nicely?
Yeah, it's very.
Sunday, big city, taking a nap. Slow down, it's Sunday, life's a ball, let it fall right in your lap. If you've got troubles, just take 'em out for a walk. They'll burst like bubbles in the fun of a Sunday in New York. You can spend time without spending a dime, watching people watch people pass. Later you'll pause in one of those stores. There's that face next to yours in the glass. Two hearts start beating. You're both too breathless to speak. Love smiles are greeting, and the dream that's seen you through the week comes through on Sunday in New York.
You know, Andy's done all the drums and everything in there, you know?
Are we supposed to be seeing a video?
You aren't seeing a video?
No, all we see is beautiful flowers.
What did I do wrong?
Flowers are pretty. And the sound is great.
Yeah, but what am I doing wrong?
Did you actually play the video? Do you see the video, Nancy?
Do you see it now?
No.
Do you see it now?
Yes.
You do see the video now?
Yeah. On a small screen.
Watching people watch people pass. Later you'll pause in one of those stores. There's
Yeah,
that
there you
face
go.
next to yours in the glass. Two hearts
It's a little soft.
beating.
Huh?
It's a little soft.
Breathless to speak. Love smiles her greeting, and the dreams that seen you through the week come through on Sunday in New York. Sunday in New York. Say that
Cool. Okay, well that's impressive.
Yeah, could you hear the verb and everything on my voice?
Yeah.
It's all mixed in Pro Tools.
Amazing.
And if I want, there's a few funky notes, I'll fix them, you know, but for the most part, that's just live.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. Yep. You've entered into the world of whatever that is. It's great. Oh, Lester Merle says hi.
Oh, I was thinking of Les. I thought, I wonder if he'll show up because we're old pals.
I didn't realize that. Me too. You know, I had him on last week. Were you
Oh,
there?
I watched it. Oh, I
Oh,
watched it.
So much
I
fun.
watched the whole thing because Les and his wife are friends. I mean, he and I have a history in that he was at some point he was contracting work, and he got me this wonderful gig in Singapore at the Westin Hotel. It was at the top of the hotel. It was called the Somerset Lounge, and they were those residency gigs. So you did it for 3 months. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. All except, and everybody that's in the business will dig this, all except the drummer. And so I had to hire a few people that I didn't know to come on that gig at the timing of it and whatever.
Yeah.
So the drummer on that gig and I did not get along.
Oh God, that's
So
horrible.
for 3 months, I'm like going up to my room crying.
Oh, no.
Well, that was before I was the beast that I am today.
Now you would have just like kicked him in the butt.
No, I would have just, yeah, I would have just kicked him out the door. I got somebody from Singapore who probably would have been better anyway. You know?
That's really
That's-
bad, though.
Yeah, no, it was a horrible situation, and it ruined the whole thing there. And then the bass player who I brought over from the States ended up meeting a girl and marrying her and just staying there.
Oh, wow.
And I'll never forget. It was so cute. He proposed to her in front of the bandstand.
Oh.
And of course, she was Asian, and this lovely, tiny thing. And he had this ring that was so big, it just fell off her finger.
Jeez.
We were all fatten her up. Get her into McDonald's. She'll be all right. Fit right into that baby.
Oh, God.
I know. So it was great memories from there. But that gig, we're talking about Les DeMuro. So that's how we met, and
Yeah.
and then from that gig, I met the renowned Asian jazz pianist and promoter and just all around excellent human being, Jeremy Montero. Are you aware of Jeremy?
I am not.
He is, well, you know, when we have some time or you have some time, just go look him up on Facebook. I mean, he's an extraordinary human being, and he brought me over many times. We did Singapore, we did a whole tour of Asia. That was when I got to do Bangkok, Jakarta. Wow, that was scary. You think you got traffic in LA? Check out Jakarta. And plus it's sinking.
Not
Where we were
to mention, must be all those cars.
Oh my God. We were in like and he always put you in 5-star. You were always in 5-star. But Jakarta's it's sinking and the water is bad. So you couldn't drink the water. You couldn't.
Oh.
It was a sad situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wonder how far it's
Well, that was years ago. I can't imagine. It's
Yeah.
got to be much worse. In fact, I know the club that we played with, which was called the Black Cat, is gone. It's not there anymore. Not
because
that it sunk. I mean, it's just not there anymore. Yeah, he's like- Oh, but it was great.
You know, Judy Buffott is here. Do you know Judy? Judy
No, I'd
Buffott?
love to. I would love to.
Canadian, but she's been living in Germany for many years, and she's a singer. She had a gig for 6 months in Singapore at the Shangri-La Hotel. Did you hang out at the
Yes.
Southbridge Jazz Club?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
It's wonderful.
Oh, hi, Lorna Sifra. Hi.
You can introduce me to all these wonderful people.
Yeah, I know. They're so beautiful. Yeah, so you let me ask you a few personal historical questions. You grew up in New York?
I'm not from New York. I'm from Rochester, New York. Although we're all New York. We're
I
all
like
New
how yeah, I know. That is so New Yorker. No, I didn't grow up in New York. I grew up in Rochester, New York. Okay.
But because we're New Yorkers. I mean,
That's funny. Because New York means the city, right?
oh yeah. You know what? My brain was still. That's a thing. That's a thing that happens because even when you go anywhere in the world and you tell them you're from New York, they think you mean the city.
Okay.
I think, although I've lived in New York City on and off for many years. But no, I was born in Rochester, New York, where the prestigious Eastman School of Music is. So we have this constant flow of just brilliant jazz people coming in and out of that city. Some of them stay, some of them leave. I mean, you've got one of our people there, Tamir Hendelman.
Yeah.
He graduated from Eastman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats.
So many, yeah. There's so many.
So many. So consequently, the area is loaded with just tremendous. tremendous jazz musicians up here. It's just
Yeah.
an odd thing you would never think, but they're all over. It's
Yeah.
rich. It's rich
Yeah.
with that. But I grew up a little south of Rochester, New York, in a very little town called Scottsville. And I mean little, we had 60 kids in our graduating class.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was small. And they threw me out.
You were laughing too much, or
Oh, I just wanted to be in the music room the whole time, and they gave up. Just said, oh God, just let her go down there and play the piano.
and you grew up playing classical?
Yep, I was classically trained. I was at college entrance at age 13. So
Wow.
virtuoso in my own right, I suppose.
Wow.
But then the Beatles came out,
Oh.
and then I wanted to be a Beatle. And my mother was so sad. I mean, they really had, you know,
Oh.
other plans for me.
Oh.
But you can't. I got. Then they got me a guitar, and I taught myself to play guitar, and I started an all-girl band. We were 16 years old, and we called ourselves the Sweeter Things. And boy, I mean, the drummer was anything but sweet. She was this raging dyke that smashed the crap out of the drums. And we'd go sit in on people's breaks. That's how we got out. We got out and played. There'd be bands, and we'd ask them, "Can we sit in?" And then this drummer would like wreck the guy's drum set. No, this isn't working, is it? But I got noticed by a fella, a very nice fellow who had a very successful. I would call it light rock. I wouldn't call it heavy rock.
Yeah.
It was organized and genteel, if you will. And he asked me to front his band. That every time I hear somebody refer to a singer as a lead singer, I have a little giggle because it's such a rock and roll word. But yeah, I was a lead singer, and that
You
just
sing the
kind of-
Beatles?
Oh no, we sang good stuff. I wish I could remember. It was. I don't remember the era. It just all I could tell you is it wasn't real heavy stuff. You know what I mean? It was lighter. I was probably doing. I wish I could remember. I apologize. I can't. But it wasn't like I did do some Rolling Stones tunes. Of course, I love the Stones. I mean, you have to be. There's something wrong with you if you don't like this.
That's
You
so
know.
true.
It is. I mean,
true, yeah.
they're so blues. I never really liked the Beatles. So, I mean, I did after they learned how to play their instruments.
Yeah, the early days were like, I was about eight. My dad owned a theater in East Boston, and when the first movie came out, I went to the theater. I just did not understand what these young girls were screaming about. It was like, what the hell are they screaming about? It's a movie, and it's like, what are they doing? And it wasn't until they got into like the White Album and that period that I really started liking it.
Ah.
Of course, I was a little older too, so
Yeah, well, they were expanding as musicians and they were expanding spiritually. So
Yeah,
it all
yeah.
was coming out of the music. There's no question. But I have to admit, I was one of those screaming teenagers. I was just in love with Paul McCartney. And I saw the Beatles live in Toronto. Really was something. But you couldn't hear them because everybody was screaming.
yeah. I remember we used to ask who was the one that you loved. For me, it was Paul McCartney too. Oh, look, Paula Burns. That's funny. She said, "Oh my God, that's my big secret in life. I do not like the Beatles. Same for
Oh
me."
no! No. Well, Paula and I are friends. Pardon me, and I'm sure that we agree on many points like that. I've lost the ability to see
Comments?
the comments. The last one I see is yours. Is there more than that?
Yes. Did you share this on your page, by the way?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, Mon David is there, and he said he knows Jeremy also.
Oh yes, he's
Uh,
legendary. He's a legendary.
mhm.
Let me see if I can get this to.
Mary Rademacher. She also said the Beatles not my favorite either for a long time. And Mon says, love your Remembering Mark Murphy album. And Tom Francini says, you ladies are so shallow.
Well, what else would he say? Tom, that's not what I pay you for. You really you really need to get that Queen thing back together.
And he mentioned Queen earlier, several
Oh, I
times.
didn't see it. Yeah, he
Oh,
called
yeah.
me
He
Queen.
mentioned it
I
several
mean,
times.
he's safe to do that because he's in LA. Because if he called me his Queen, I'd come over to his house and he'd be in
Oh,
trouble.
oh. Oh.
I have a lot of friends that are Queens too, by the way.
Fun, really fun.
Don't you love our gays? I mean, I just
I
love
do.
them.
I love it.
They
I
love
love,
a diva. They just
yeah,
love it.
man. I love the hang. So then you were fronting bands. Then what did you do? You said you went back and forth like to the city. Is that where
Well,
you
that's
started?
much later.
Oh,
So to continue on the fronting the bands thing, and I started talking a little bit, and we got, of course, waylaid over into the Beatles somehow. But I loved the Stones. But I would be singing, and I would find myself wanting to change the melody. And when you're in a cover band, the people really want to hear the cover of that tune. They don't want to hear your version of it.
yeah.
So it was clear to me that this whole thing was not going to work out for me very well. So I kept moving. Pardon. I kept moving to different music, and I found myself evolving. My taste was evolving. The things that I wanted to stimulate me were evolving very quickly, and so I went from there to just kind of a R&B funky band. We did that for a while, and there was a hard realization during that era. I was like, I need to be the band leader. I really do. Because these guys, I don't know. So then I met up with a guy who had just come off the road. I was in Albany playing. I lived in Albany for a while. We had a very successful band there that did a lot of Leon Russell type stuff. That was the first several bands I have been in that had B3 as the main organ instrument, which I somehow have had in my life for a long time, the B3. And anyway, so this guy had just got off the road with. All right, here we go. Here goes the part where my old lady brain can't remember names. I'll think of it later. I'll text you. Some big band, famous big band, and he saw me in the club. He goes, "You got big ears." I didn't know what that meant. He said, "You could sing jazz." I said, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll try that."
That was it? That was the beginning?
Well, and then he took me, and we learned. He'd learned to be that standard list that we teach everybody of the standards. Misty, All of Me, When Sunny Gets Blue. I remember learning I Wish You Love, like just those standards, right?
Yeah.
What he did was he would play the progressions, but he played only substitutions, so that I could not. So I would have to find the melody,
Yeah.
and that I think I attribute that to the years, the ability I have to hear the way I do now.
Yeah,
There's no
definitely.
question. There's no question. And then from there, I just kept doing. I sort of went into a phase of. I was really into big band and Sinatra, and I did that whole thing, which was far more popular than what I do now. Because
Yeah.
I'm getting more into
That's,
bebop.
we'll talk about that too, like as a little subject, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. What?
Well, it's just that, I think it's a worthy discussion actually, because And it's not just in jazz, but it's when you do decide to be an artist, and then you find that you are doing things that may not be that commercial, or commercial may not be for the masses, and how it's really a life and spiritual growth. If you're going to go down that road, which I think we have to when we're artists, because otherwise we're going to die.
Well, intellectual curiosity is the trait of intelligent people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you do. That's what jazz people do. We search. We're looking for new things, new ideas, new feels. What is this like? What is this room like to be in? Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Hmm.
And I'm constantly searching for new things that I find stimulating,
Yeah.
not only musically but spiritually in some way.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But the problem is I put it, is that you hip yourself out of the room.
You
You
hip
know,
yourself out of the room.
you just hip yourself out of the room because then then unless they have a knowledge of it,
Yeah.
it's going to seem foreign and not so fun to them. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember I worked recently with a pianist who said, "Couldn't you do like some of the old Nancy stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, no." Well, I did. I actually did. You know me, I'm a wise guy. I did, and I don't know about any other singers, but I've lost about 5 notes off the top. I haven't lost any of my facility within the range that I still have, but I have lost about 5 notes off the top. So, a lot of my stuff that I used to do has to come down a whole step. Do you experience any of that?
Um,
If you say no, I'm going to be mad, Kath.
well, I have the opposite thing. I have
Yeah.
lost, well, although I'm trying to get it back, but I've lost the bottom part because the top of my range was easier to sing with. And I'm not talking about super high notes. I mean, I'll hit those notes on occasion, but in general, the top of my range was easier to get than the bottom. And I kind of, because of whatever I was practicing, singing, I kept picking little higher keys. And so I kind of lost my bottom.
Who's helping you with that?
Well,
Like
now,
someone you're seeing? Are you being told about how to lower your larynx?
yeah, now well, it's a long conversation, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing for the last 2 years, I've seen a man named Stephen Cronauer who I actually had on as a guest. He's a really great teacher. He was a child prodigy. He sings great classical style. He has choirs that he directs, and um, he even came back from a really debilitating accident, like that affected his voice. But
Oh.
he gets me. He's like spiritual, and he gets that I'm a teacher. He gets I'm a jazz singer, and um,
So are you intimating that he's a classical teacher?
he is a classical teacher. But I'm not. It's not like he's training me to be a classical singer. But when a few years ago, I came to him, and I'm sure we talked about this, but my singing was not. It didn't make me feel good. The way that it was being produced and what came out, and I was really considering stopping singing. And the only reason I didn't was because my friend Dan Davila was giving me
Yeah.
money to record, and that was the only reason I didn't really stop.
Well,
Thanks,
bless
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah, and then I found Steve, and over the next few years, um, I he found what I wasn't. It was that cough that I have, for
I
20.
was going to ask you, are you feeling better from that? Is
Well,
that, is that
it's still here.
yeah.
I'm working on it through new things right now. I'm always looking for the answer, but he actually brought me through the wall of fire, and now at least I'm actually producing sound, and I'm excited. It's like, oh, yeah, this is how it's supposed to feel. I know because when I hear people sing, I know what it's supposed to sound like. So, yeah, I
Well, I'm
forget.
surprised because usually most classical teachers are not familiar with speaking voice placement and not being in a head tone,
Yeah.
probably lower than an E4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They keep you in head tone for a while. So
Yeah.
he is
Well,
helping you with that.
yeah. And I know what's her name, the very well-known teacher who all these people go to, Kate McGarry and a whole bunch of people. You know that singer? She's in the middle of the country.
I
People,
don't. Tell me.
oh, people always say, "Oh, do you study with so and so?" Or someone on here in the comment area. Some one of these people asked me, maybe Karen McCants, was it you or somebody asked me about her? Oh no, I know who it was. It was Tanya Grubbs. Remember Tanya? You asked me. Levitri, thank you. Levitri is her name. Her last name. Have you ever
Mhm.
heard of her?
No, I will look it
No.
up.
Yeah,
I'll look it
she's
up.
like really well known, and she's taught a lot of our peers, and Kate McGarry included. And Kate was telling me about it, and she definitely talks about lowering, you know,
Lowering your larynx.
yeah,
Well, I tell my students, if you really want to learn to do it, walk around talking sexy. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
Hi,
You get,
baby.
yeah, you get that lower, it lowers the larynx. And of course, as you know, nothing should be forced ever. I
Right.
mean, Lord knows I love to holler out of tune.
Yeah.
But, in general, we should never be hollering.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's fascinating. I mean, I can hear what people's problems are. I can teach them because I also came from a really good background with a teacher who knew the whole body, taught really well, and I can really get that. And and I can hear somebody sing and really understand what's going on. But I wasn't experienced in the sensation, the real sensation of how the voice is easily produced. I was at times, but it was different because of the thing that I studied. I studied mostly about the vocal cords, and I studied Cesare, and all of that was great. But I actually didn't study anything about breathing. Without breathing,
Oh, I just
dead
changed
in the water.
I changed my whole way that I'm teaching how to take a breath
Oh,
because of this wonderful teacher. Well, Ro in New York, Rosanna Vitro. You'll have Ro on, I'm sure, at some point if you already haven't. She was telling me about this teacher, and I checked out some videos, and she gave this description of breathing that I said, "Oh, well, that's my new rap right there." And I mean, we all understand, that you're going to see the diaphragm expand. We all know that.
yes.
But what we don't, what the way that she described it, and let me share this with everyone that's a singer listening, because this is really great.
Yeah.
She said, "You know how when you pour water in a glass and
Yes.
it fills from the bottom up? So we're going to pull air to our waist, but we're going to continue to pull it up to our shoulders. And it's this gorgeous, gentle fill as opposed to like pulling the diaphragms, pulling out, sucking air in, and it's just this. And then you feel your lungs feel, and then what I'm loving about it is I've noticed I'm feeling the air pressure right here under my instrument, and I'm not having to work as hard.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. So, practice that one.
I'm going
Try
to think
that one.
about that.
It's a really good one. As I've stopped telling them to, blow up. I used to take people and make them put a belt around their waist and undo the belt and this whole thing.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, it's called somatic voice work with
Oh,
Jeannie
okay.
Dimitri. And also Tanya is saying, yes, I have heard of body mapping. Yeah. I think my teacher has talked about that, body mapping.
That's interesting. These
Yeah.
are all terms. But you know what I find
Uh-huh.
really interesting
Yeah.
is that, I mean, Stevie Wonder don't think about none of this shit.
Nope. He doesn't.
I mean, I think a lot of the people that are blessed enough to grow up in the church with the opportunity to sing in a environment of freedom,
Yeah.
perhaps the only environment of freedom,
Right.
still to this day,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well, Aretha is a
Well, same
perfect
thing. Church,
example.
church. Her father was a. But there's this. I mean, they just freely sing.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything wrong? I used to. Is there anything wrong with Aretha when you hear her? I don't know. Did she? I mean, she hollers a lot, but that was the era.
Well, also you could feel her voice coming out of her head
Yeah.
because everything was right there. And but she was led by, emotion and, joining in with her aunts and her mother and, so yeah. And emotion. I mean, what fascinates me too is that a lot of things that are important, like for instance, communication, right? I wrote a little booklet about this that I still have to put out. But communication in life is best, right? You can't stop stuff, right? You have to flow out, right, to have a good result. And also, even singing jazz, you can't stop in the middle of a phrase, or you're singing and you made a mistake or something and you stop. No, you have to there's a flow. And it's the same thing in voice technique. You The idea of flowing out actually helps, and that's why I think people like Aretha, who didn't probably take any lessons, and a lot of people that I hear and admire, I don't think you know they kept putting it out. They attached
Yeah.
themselves
I
to
hadn't.
emotion.
I've been singing for 50 years and never had a problem with my voice. And the only lessons that I had were 2 semesters at the Eastman School Prep Department, which is now called the Eastman Community School. And my teacher was this fabulous classical teacher. And at that point, I came to her a fully developed stylist. But this was before, I should preface, I should say, not preface, I should say, after that Eastman experience, I've never had a problem.
Oh, okay.
I came to her because I was going hoarse. And I didn't know, like, what's going on. So anyway, she's the one who, showed me the whole thing. You lay on the floor with the book and how to breathe and all the blah, blah, blahs and all the tricks. That's pretty standard stuff. And she got down with me with the vowels and all the stuff, But then after 2 semesters, she said, I got to let you go because I'm going to ruin you. Because if I instill classical discipline on you, you're going to lose that ability to just sing freely the way you are in speaking voice. And my point is, I have sang freely in speaking voice without any problems my entire career.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect of it, learning to just, as you say, I tell my students all the time, let the sound float out of you.
Yeah.
Focus on the exhale, not the note. Let it float. Because if you start thinking about notes, you start tightening up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like bad.
Yeah.
So I come from that same school of just go and let God, baby.
Yeah. Let go and let God.
Yeah, let go and let God. Like, okay, I'm just going to go for that note and I don't care, You like that one, don't you?
I am, you know what? And I feel like I'm going to write down quotes from people because there have been some great quotes, and that's a good quote.
Well, I actually got it from I think Wayne Dyer.
Oh,
Dr.
really?
Wayne Dyer, who saved my life after a really bad relationship, and I had to do some really hard, pardon me, really hard work to try and understand why I allowed myself to be in an unhealthy relationship, rather than look at him and the problems he caused. I wanted to look at myself. Why did I allow that? And so one thing led to another, Marianne Williamson, and then Wayne Dyer, and then Eckhart Tolle, and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then,
Yeah.
you know, when I was a little girl, I had the Cahill Gibran. Is that how you say his name?
Yes, yes, it is.
Next to my bed.
I know
So,
that was me
right?
too. Yeah, absolutely.
So I did all the work. And
Yeah.
that let go and let God thing was I think, Wayne's.
Yeah.
I think. I don't
Maybe
know.
that's why we laugh all the time together because we read the same books.
Well, I think most people that have get to this point in life and are okay have read the same books.
Yeah. I have a Deepak Chopra book by my bed that
Oh,
I
I
haven't
used to listen
totally
to his
finished
tapes
yet.
in the car constantly. His voice was so hard to listen to, though. But it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, I learned.
Yeah. This one is How to Find God, and it's such a great book.
Mm.
Has these classic, beautiful ideas, and oh, it's just great. It really turns me on. It's great.
Yeah,
Um,
good
so,
stuff.
hey, let's listen to something. And I'm going to show you what I can bring up, and then you can pick and tell
Oh
me.
boy. You know, I'm like every other artist. I can't stand anything I've done.
That's not true.
Oh,
I'm sure you like a few things. You liked that last song.
well, I thought it was cute the way we did it. Oh dear.
There's Through the Fire. Nancy Kelly having a breakdown. That's probably not
That's
you.
me. That's probably me. Before Wayne Dyer.
Acting. It says Nancy Kelly acting.
Oh, I don't do
Um,
that anymore.
Nancy,
Um,
this is wow.
no, don't play that. Don't play that. I
I'm
butchered
just,
that.
I'm just looking at the group.
Oh
That
yeah, I
Biff,
recorded. That was my
Biff
first record.
Hannon. I haven't even heard Biff Hannon's name for so long.
I
Tom
know.
Warrington, who lives now in not Australia, New Zealand,
Well,
and
of
Peter
course he does. And
Erskine.
why wouldn't he?
That's true.
Why wouldn't he? And Peter Erskine, did you see that?
I did. What an interesting group.
Well,
Holy,
that was when I had a label. I mean, I was blessed at a young age with
is
with
this
a
you?
label, and yeah, that's me.
Huh?
About 28 years old.
Sexy.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess.
what about this one? A new
No, no,
footage?
no,
No,
no, no,
no.
no.
What about
There's really not a lot of some of the stuff from the recent record is good stuff. We could find Red Clay and play it.
okay. Oh, but you're not. I'd like to people to see you if possible.
Oh, like, well, as you recall, I said I don't have any good videos.
Well, even a
Uh,
live video. Let's see. Come right at
uh,
long last love.
no, I don't like any of these.
Here's
Maybe
you and Dino.
no, no,
No.
no, 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 no. I wish you had asked me in the before. I would have. It's so funny you'd laugh. I'm trying to scroll my mouse over this screen that you've got. You should go to my Nancy Kelly YouTube channel page,
Oh, okay, good.
and that might help us. There we go. See, I'm the second one there on
Oh,
this page.
yes,
There
okay.
you go. Now, how do we find more videos here?
Right.
These are all the collabs that I've done. All of them.
Here's Joey Di Francesco in
Yeah,
there.
you could play Misty. It's all right. I'm not real proud of it, but it's okay.
Okay.
You want to play it? I don't know. I'm gonna go hide while you play that. You want to know who these guys are?
Sure, let me stop. Joey Di
So,
Francesco.
the one and only Joey D, who I met. He was just a little fella. Do you want me to tell the story
Yeah, tell me.
now? Okay,
Okay.
so well, we'll maybe go deeper into the Philadelphia years, but I was the house singer in a black jazz club in Philly for 4 or 5 years,
Oh,
and I'll have to tell that whole story. But anyway, Joey was just starting out, and his parents would bring him in to sit in,
wow.
and he was 12,
And
he
he was
just
sitting in on
like,
organ,
burnt
or
the house down, just burnt the place to cinders. And I gotta go on after that. But anyway, so to go back to that, I'm not it's fun to watch the guys play. So the drummer's the drummer, my first call drummer now, Carmen Intor Jr. He's in New York. He toured most recently with Pat Martino.
uh-huh.
Of course, Pat is retired. Of course, everybody is unfortunately retired now.
Right.
And then that's Bobby Militello on sax. Bobby
Oh, Bobby Miller.
Toured. Bobby took Paul Desmond's
Yeah.
place with Dave Brubeck, and
I
toured
met
with.
him somewhere. Where did I meet Bobby? What did he used to live in LA?
Oh, yes, he did.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was with Maynard.
Okay.
He
Okay.
was with
Yeah.
Maynard,
Yeah.
and he's from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
So this is part of these what we call the upstate burners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's Bobby, and that's all. It's just a small little organ trio. Put it on if you want.
Okay.
I'm not in love. I won't look at it and I won't listen to it, but everybody else can.
Now, Nancy Donnelly is asking for Song of the Geese, and Donna Militello, oh, hi, is
Well, Song for the
she's
Geese
the
is something you
best,
should play if people
best
want to.
song ever. Donna is Bobby's cousin,
Yep.
and Lorna Sifra says Stolen Moments. So just so you know what people are asking for.
Oh, that's what you got to play is Janine.
What? Say that again?
But I don't. You got to. Go ahead, play it. You can play
Sorry.
this.
What did you say, Janine or something?
Janine, but I don't have a good video of it, and I'm a little fussy about that. There's stuff out there that I wish wasn't out there.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
Now, this was what year do we see here, folks? 2011. So that's a much younger Nancy. I was really considerably. I don't want to say nervous. I was very excited to
Yeah.
be on the stage with Joey because it had been years since we had seen each other.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Well, go ahead, you know.
All right, just picture. It's 1982. Were you alive then, Randy?
Baby boy.
Broad Street, Philadelphia. Jules Jazz Club. The real deal, baby. Where your feet stick to the rug. And all they got on the jukebox is Bird and Billy. The real deal, baby. Up front, it costs you $10 to get in. Richard Groove Holmes playing. Walk in the back, downstairs where the hip folks are hanging. Nancy Kelly singing. And guess who's playing the organ? Joey D. That's right, baby. This is one of our tunes from the old days. Look at me. I'm as selfless as a kitten up a tree. I feel like calling into a cloud. I can't understand. I get misty, baby. I'm holding your hand.
Look at Joey following me.
My way. And our thoughts and violins begin to play. It was Carmen's song, but I stole it. Must be the sound of your hello. Music I hear. I get misty when my daddy is near. So good to be back in the day to be but I know what I want. I know sometimes I get a little lost. Oh, but Daddy, I'm following you. Sometimes I'm on my own. I'm on a wander through this wonderland alone. I don't know my right foot, it's from my left eye. Had a hat in the glove, where is it? I must be making and too much in
Oh, baby. Come on, bring it out.
Swinging drummer too.
Oh, Tommy's badass, man.
Wow, what a groove.
That's my baby boy. Joey Di Termiani. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Go ahead, baby. Baby, I'm tired. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You want it?
I want to hear This makes me miss live music.
Speaking like I'm clinging to a cloud. Can't understand. I get misty holding your hand. Whoa. My way. And I saw how well that violins begin to play. I hear the sound of your hello, the music I hear. I get misty when my man is
Fire, baby.
My right foot from my stay.
What am I doing? I'm hitting that 7.
Yeah.
We're crazy.
It's so cool.
Stone cold crazy.
You get me chills like 10 times over. Oh,
I
God.
was really belting. It was fun though. Like I wouldn't do that all night. But
Yeah.
that was a situation where, my goodness, why not? Those guys were on fire. They were
Oh,
kicking
yeah.
ass. Nobody was letting anyone breathe. I mean, take a break. We were pushing each other right to
Yeah.
the limit. But I was leading that army. I was leading that attack.
Yeah. God, that
I
was
love to be that young and dance that crazy. I was laughing at myself at the end there, picking up music that was blowing around. Always a woman. Better clean up. What's going on?
I know. I know that's funny, man. Without dropping a beat, right?
Oh,
Oh.
let me get this here. It is so funny. Oh, thank you, Lorna.
That's really great.
Oh, look at all the
those
lovely
are
things these people are
fantastic.
saying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Spank fastic. That's good,
Spank,
Paula.
that's Paula.
Spank fastic. I like that.
Spank fast.
Fantastic. I want to use that in Scrabble. My husband and I decided we need to make a new dictionary of the words, like when you're looking at the words on the on your little thing. And it's like a word that should be a word, but it's not. It's nowhere near a word.
They have adapted some of the newer ones.
Well, these are like, no, these
I
are.
guess the F word is in the dictionary now.
Yeah, but those are real words that people use. I'm talking about words that are in my brain that I see on there that I know
Oh,
aren't real.
you
I
make
want to
them
make
up.
a new dictionary. Oh man. Okay, so
Yeah, where do we go from there? I need a nap. Is it wine o'clock yet where I live? No.
so so okay, so damn, how did you learn to swing like that? There had to be steps as like things that you went, oh, that feels good. Oh, that feels good. Or how about records that you listened to? Somebody
I think that's where it began. Well,
like Joe Williams. I mean, the Kings
oh,
of Swanging,
of course. Um, Mark Murphy, that's what his description of me was, that as I was a rhythm singer.
Oh,
I thought that was an apropos
mm-hmm.
because I have two focuses. One is on the rhythm and the other is on the story.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of riffing there that everybody heard, but I love to go over something like that with singers so they can understand. I have a thing. I'll answer your question, but I have a thing called riffing for a reason, and a lot of singers
Oh, that's good.
just go ahead and blow shit out that makes no sense. Now, like
Mm-hmm.
Christina Aguilera, who has an extraordinary instrument. So she's not jazz, but she just, like, shut up. That's enough. That's enough. We got it about, but rhythm has always been really important to me. I love space. I love the timing of things. Daddy played, of course, Count Basie, and he played Ella, and he played. I heard all this growing up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then, I had that little spurt with rock and roll before I got back into jazz, which I think is not uncommon for some people because
Yeah,
you
I
don't
think
want to
it's
do what your
definitely.
parents, like my parents listen to that. I don't
Yeah,
want to do
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. But and it was just appealing, the rock, and
Well,
it had
it was
rhythm. It had great
it
rhythm.
had great rhythm, and we always did all that, like I said, the Stones and stuff that was very swinging. I mean,
Yeah,
Stones swing their ass off. Led
yeah,
Zeppelin swings their butts off.
yeah, yeah.
Swing doesn't just have to be those
Right, right.
16th notes going up.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think my biggest sense of rhythm came from listening to Ella,
Hmm.
and yes, Joe Williams. Um, but Ella, in my opinion, is not an extremely lyrical singer, but her gift is timing and space and feeling of where to put notes.
Yeah.
She really gets that more than anybody that was out there then.
Well, she was very subtle too.
And
Her stuff was subtle. It wasn't like Sarah and I mean, and Sarah and Carmen were great, and it wasn't that they weren't great, but Ella had more subtleties going on, I think.
And she didn't work at it on any level. It was
Yeah.
just what came out of Ella. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
worked in front of those big bands and she just soaked in like a sponge all those riffs and those lines and shared them with us
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't have to go through any histrionics. But I can't control when I'm in that rhythm like that.
Mhm.
I cannot hold my body still. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
So, and that was some deep that thing that you just heard. That's a pocket that you don't want to. It's deep.
Yeah.
You get in there, you're gonna be.
Yeah.
But I think that's where I got my real sense of rhythm was from Ella, and then I got. I mean, who did I listen to? Somebody asked here in the list what record did I wear out? Yeah. I mean, I listened to a lot of Mark Murphy's stuff, so
Uh-huh.
but before that, I listened. I loved Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
I loved Peggy Lee. She was one of the first. Uh, I don't know the timeline between Peggy Lee and Anita O'Day, but Peggy, who came first? Someone help me. I'm not so good with it.
Um, wow, that's difficult.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe
difficult one.
Anita, but I mean, I don't think it was by much.
Not much, but I think Peggy was one of the pioneering white women who was a blues-based singer.
Yeah.
You don't hear that. You didn't hear that. And
Yeah.
of course, it was subtle, but it was there. The blues
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
She really
Yeah.
had a nice approach. So I listened a lot. I put Peggy under the scope a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I also put, of course, Billy. I wore everything out. I think I wore out. I think to answer your question, it would have to be Billie Holiday. I just wore all her records out.
Yeah.
But that's where I think I learned my sense of story because Billy holds nothing from you ever.
No.
And then it got a little tough when you could start to hear the drugs in her voice. That same thing. And I listened to a lot of players. I listened to a lot of soloists. I was really into. I love Chet Baker. I mean, you have to be. You should just leave now if you don't like Chet Baker. So- hi. Um, and Dexter Gordon, and I liked that whole era. And then Wardell Gray, and then I got into Coleman Hawkins, and it took me a minute to understand Charlie Parker. I didn't quite get that that was tough. That's now I get it. Now that I'm doing bebop, you know what I mean? More. So now but I never got Thelonious Monk. I just didn't. I said, what on earth is he doing? And I was more into, and I listened a lot to Oscar Peterson.
Yeah. Well,
I
there
listened
you
to
go.
Bill Evans, but once again, I wasn't ready. My ears were not ready to hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the subtlety and the harmonics and the substitutions and the spacing and where he put I didn't get that. But I
Yeah.
got Oscar because he was rhythmic and
Yeah.
very melodic.
Yeah.
So to answer those questions,
Yeah. By the way, Nancy Donnelly and Tim Weston say Peggy, then Anita.
There, I had a feeling, but I was, and I also didn't get Anita O'Day at first, believe it or not, even though Mark calls me the Anita O'Day of today.
Yeah.
I think I said, I used to ask him, I say, is that because of my personality or my singing?
Good question.
I am a little bit
You are a
false.
little
I know.
Anita O'Day-ish.
Yeah, well, I I'm lucky to live through the 80s, and so I'm still here, thank God for that.
My friend John Prue played for Anita when she was here, at towards the end of her life when she was singing. She was performing around here. And he showed up at 10 in the morning and she offered him a beer or what are those things that old people drink? Like, they're kind of milky and they give you all the proteins and stuff. I forget.
Oh, yeah. And
We're not,
sure,
we're not
and
old,
sure.
and sure. We're not old enough for him to
No,
know
we're
that.
not there yet, thank goodness.
So she offered him a beer or an Ensure.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, he took the Ensure.
Yeah, she was crazy. A drummer from another one of the upstate burners up here is a cat named Danny DiPurio, who is
Oh, I know.
legendary.
Yeah.
He's legendary. He took Buddy when Buddy quit the band. He took Buddy's place, Buddy Rich, and he toured with that. But he toured mostly with Maynard.
Uh-huh.
He's probably the swinginest drummer I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, he was really good friends with Anita, and he got her to sign the book. High Times, is that her book?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I'd have to go look. But she signed it backwards, so you'd have to hold a mirror up to read it. Boy, did I need to know her. Maybe I didn't. That was maybe good that I didn't. So does that answer your question about swinging? I don't know. It's just very important.
Yeah, it does because
Rhythm.
yeah, it does because it's such a huge part, and they're really I really, and I'm not saying this just to blow smoke up your wahooey, but really I really don't know of a singer personally that I know that I've heard that swings as hard as you do.
That's my claim to fame. That is my claim to fame. That's it. I don't have the prowess as our new star that we're all so excited about what Veronica Swift is bringing. We're very excited. I'm in huge support of what she's doing and bringing the music. I mean, Gianni, who manages her at Birdland, had the good sense to put her out in front of Chris Botti, who has a younger crowd. Brilliant. And I mean, I couldn't. We're friends. I'm friends with Ronnie, but I mean, I wouldn't dare scat with her. I mean,
She's fabulous. Yeah.
no,
I
she's
saw her.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
got
just
everything.
unbelievable.
And besides all the obvious swinging and scatting, she sings a ballad like totally authentically, which to me is like, the real telltale thing, right?
Yeah. Well, she has some. I feel there's some tumultuous things going on, and so usually when there is, we are able to express it through music.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you would be.
Yeah.
So sometimes doing the work, Kath, and getting spiritually together is not what you want if you want to sing your ass off.
Yeah, man, you have to crash and burn.
Well, that's where it comes from, sorta. No, but I can't control myself around rhythm. And then I went and when I heard El Giro, my entire life just
Write that down too.
changed.
Sorry. I can't control myself around rhythm. I'm writing that down.
Okay,
That's a great quote.
I can't. I lose it. My body just starts going where it wants, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going for a ride here.
You were going to talk about Al Jarreau?
Yeah, I said El Giro changed my ears in my life forever. Because this guy's sense of rhythm and timing and his fearless Like he was just fearless. Like he didn't care. He said, "Look, I'm gonna go for these 4 notes, and these 3 here might not work, but I'm gonna get there."
Yeah, yeah,
And he didn't care. It was
yeah.
like unbelievable. So he
Do you
changed.
know? Do you know that Joan Sutherland says? And my teacher told me about this. And Joan Sutherland, one of the greatest all-time classical singers and teachers, she said, "I don't think about my mistakes." She said, "If I make a mistake, it's okay because there's hundreds of more notes that are coming after." So
I don't think about them. You can't. I teach my students. You do not think about notes. Do not think about notes. You can't. You have to just think about the release of what it is that's coming out of you. Who were we just talking about? Remind me. Oh, so I said El Giro, and then I got into funk. Then I got into like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I mean, like listening to Herbie's record, Herbie Hancock, which was out. It was really kind of out, but I dug it. What's it, Headhunters?
oh yeah,
Yeah, so I didn't like a lot of the two, like the group that, like I didn't get like the group that Erskine was in at first, Jazz Messenger. Like,
did you like
that,
Weather Report?
that's what I meant. That's who I was talking about. Was that Peter's group?
Well, Peter was in Weather Report. It was
That's
Owen
the group
Hart.
I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes, I got that. I got that. I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chaka Khan too. Yes, Nancy Donnelly. Another
Oh, well,
great.
like, right, Nancy. I
Yeah.
mean, my God, Shaka. When I first heard Rufus, I said, "What?
Me too.
What? Now I gotta go downstairs and try to sing like that? Ain't nobody." I'm like, no, no, jeez.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
she was amazing. But,
bad. Yeah,
she was really amazing. She still is amazing.
yeah.
And I never met Shaka. Did you ever meet Shaka?
No, but when I was at Berkeley, I was in a group with a guy who played drums with her for many years, John Robinson. So he
Oh,
was,
yeah.
yeah, we had a group together, but that was, when we were 20 or something.
Yeah. Well, she lived through the same thing that many of us did, which was the 80s, and that's all we have to talk about. It was just a thing that we survived.
No.
But
Yeah,
Chaka, I loved. I mean, who didn't love Chaka? Now, there's a person, talk about prowess. I mean, my God. I don't know what her range was, but forget it. And she,
incredible.
but the same thing is church.
Yeah. Well,
Church.
that's like Dan DeVille, if you're listening, help me out. The singer who was in 20 Steps from Stardom that we went to see at Catalina's, and she's Lisa Fisher. Wow. Have you heard it, Lisa
Oh, yes.
Fisher?
Oh, wait,
yeah.
I have to comment because they've got a little thread going, and I need to give you another quote that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
So Coleman Hawkins said, "If you ain't making mistakes, you ain't trying.
Wow.
If you ain't making mistakes, you ain't trying."
That's such a great,
That's a good one.
yeah.
So, you take that attitude. I mean, I don't like, that's why I was talking about those videos that I make. It's so unnerving because you can't make mistakes because it's out there forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you put a video out that hasn't been edited a lot, I was pleased to know that Misty didn't sound as bad as I thought it was going to.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like sometimes we have a point of view. I like to tell the story of me and Philip Strange going on the road in Japan. So every night we're on a different gig, and every night they're playing the same record. They're playing the same record before we start and in between, right? And at the end. So we're hearing the same part of the songs, right? Over and over and over again, every night, 3 times at least. And at one moment you think, wow, that was damn good. And then the next time you hear it, it's like, oh God, that sucks. And then the next time you hear it, no, that was pretty good. And then the next time you hear it, oh no, that was real. So it's really a change.
Oh, you're talking about your own work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a changing point of view, and we have to give ourselves a break sometimes, and also, you know, I try, like when I write about myself, for PR, I always try and put myself in the third person. Like I'm writing about somebody else, not about
And we
me.
all have to do that.
Yeah.
We all have to do it. And I read a funny, I read a funny thing on Facebook one. Somebody says, y'all got to stop believing your own PR.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Right? I mean, and nowadays, you can't Snopes it or whatever it is. I don't know if it's real or not. You can write whatever you want. You can fix whatever you want. It's like a world of a wall of we don't know what it is. So what was
Do you right now, do you teach in a school or was
I had a gig at OCC, which is a community college up here. I was an adjunct there. I had a class called the Art of Popular Singing and Jazz Technique, and I did it for like I don't know 5 years, and I kind of got tired of it because it was just credits for them, and I had 20 kids sitting there going through the. I really didn't like it. I'm much happier privately teaching.
Yeah.
It was nice. It's nice to have on the res that you're an adjunct,
Yeah, yeah.
prof, but I mean, you know, I like what I'm doing now. I like to do one-on-one because I find everybody has different things they need that needs attention. I mean, you can't, in that one side, teaching is not one size fits all. That's for sure, and you know that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've taught at different universities and schools, and and I've taught privately in those schools. And but like you say, it's sometimes even at Cal State LA, the students that I was getting were not vocal students, you
No,
know.
they're just there for the credits.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but I know I helped some who have gone on actually who I've seen, in the community singing, and that's nice. And you know, that's really good. And then, but the thing that I didn't really love about schools was the administrative. Well, first of all, I am such a bad red tape kind of person. Oh my God, that is not my highlight. And then also, if somebody didn't like you in a private lesson, they just went to the head of the department and
Oh,
complained, and the head of the department always takes their side, right? And I mean, it's much more than they would come to me and say, "What happened here?" I know people who don't have that experience, but at Cal State LA, and also I taught at MI Musicians Institute, and that was happening too in the latter part when I was teaching there. So that to me was like, yeah, nah. I would rather have somebody come here. If we don't like each other, great, bye. You know, that's it. And then there's serious singers who come privately. So yeah. Tell us about the Mark Murphy project.
well, it's um, pretty well known how it happened, but I can recreate it a little bit. I was talking with my agent, who's now become a dear friend, because nobody's booking anything anywhere. we're, we're great friends, and I was going. I should put some little show together or something like a Mark Murphy tribute show. And then I go. After a while, I thought about it. I said, "Wait a minute. If I'm going to do a show, I should do a record to support it." And that's how that whole idea happened. And then Mark passed away. And then I said, oh, now I got to do this. And I raised the money like many of us have to because only the select few get to have labels. So, you know, um, I raised the money on, I think, Kickstarter or something, I don't remember. And I got it done. I got it done. It was top top 10 jazz records of 219. We didn't do well with the charts, so that's a whole anybody that knows about charting and radio and timing, I mean, we got that screwed up. So that's a long. It got released. WBGO got their hands on it in New York City and started playing it 3 months before it was released.
Oh,
And there's such a huge Jazz Week reporter, so
yeah.
the numbers got all wonky and Ugh, you know about that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. It did really, really, really well. John DiMartino. I wrote to John because I know John had worked with. You're familiar with John and his work, John DiMartino in New York?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you where would you know John from? He works a lot with Janice Siegel.
Okay.
He works quite a bit with her. He's he worked with Freddie Cole for years. Produced all his records. He's arranged all his arrangements.
Yeah.
We just lost Freddie. I could go on and on. He's a virtuoso.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I I asked him to do this project with me, and just one thing led to another. I went down to New York and we talked over the material. I gave him all the feels. There were some tunes on it like Red Clay, Freddie Hubbard's Red Clay. I mean, that thing is written so well. You don't change it. You don't do anything but just bring your voice to it.
Yeah.
So we didn't do anything different to that. We just left it and I sang it, which I have to admit was a challenge. That, those intervals, those precise intervals are tough, man. But I did it. And, but other tunes I took liberties with. Now, like you heard my funky version just a little while ago of Sunday in New York. No, Sunday in New York.
Uh-huh.
And that was my idea to do it that kind of hip-hoppy way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also my idea to do Night Mood, sort of as an R&B. It was also my idea to do Again, which was a tune that Mark did that I loved. And he did it more like it had a hint of that 12 feel in it, but it was very, very in the background.
Again, that's the again.
Again.
Yeah.
This could happen again. It's a beautiful song, which Doris
a
Day
beautiful
made
song, yeah.
famous. Yeah, beautiful song. But I did it with the blues feel, and I brought in Paul Bowen back to wail the guitar on it a little bit. I hear. I don't know about your process, but my process when I'm making records, I hear the band. First of all, I hear what I want the song to sound like,
Yeah.
and then I hear who should be playing it, because then not everybody play. Just because it's jazz doesn't mean they're playing the jazz the way you want to hear it. There's all kinds of jazz feels and players, and doesn't mean they're going to do what's going to compliment me. That's one of the biggest things that singers. That's where they fail the most, in my opinion, in their recordings, is not finding people who are on the same train. That's a big one. So I managed to do that with everybody. With that record. Carmen was on it, the drummer you just heard.
Uh-huh.
Boy, I gotta tell you something, man, that's a hard record to play out. That's a hard record. It's not easy. The charts are like you would have to rehearse that show.
Yeah.
Like I can't just go to, like I was just with you out there, I went to Feinstein's. Like I just can't like put those charts in front of guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been having them, but that's all right. It's all right. John and I did the show for 3 nights at Birdland. And it was nice. It was nice. But
You think we could listen to one of the cuts?
well, Donna, I don't know if Donna's still here with us, but she wanted to. I would suggest either both Red Clay and Song for the Geese, if you can find them.
Yeah, okay. So
Also, Randy Brecker's on there too. Oh, here's the cool thing. Wait, this is cool. So Randy Brecker played on the original recording with Mark on Red Clay, Veracruz, and Body and Soul. So he played on my record on the same 3 cuts. And while you're looking, I can explain all this because it's cool. So Randy was in China when we were recording, so he couldn't come to the session.
yeah.
And his lady, Ada, his wife, she's a recording person. They recorded it at home and sent me the parts. It was so cool.
Yeah.
They were so right on and so beautiful.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, here we go.
This is a little long. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, we're fine. Is long like 3 minutes?
I don't even know. This only says, this is an ad. That's why it's 30 seconds. Yeah, 5 minutes is a long time.
Okay, well, maybe we'll I don't know. Let's see.
Oh wait, I gotta turn it off because I gotta preface it. I gotta preface this.
Okay.
So this song, "Song for the Geese," written by Sean Smith, the bass player in New York City. So this song is written about the bay that I am currently living on, Little Sodus Bay, which is also where Mark Murphy had a summer home. This song, we feel, was perhaps written about his lover, Eddie, who he never got over losing Eddie when Eddie passed away. And so understanding the metaphor of what the lyrics are about. So you listen to the first chorus, listen to a little bit of John's solo. I think that's enough to give you an idea of what this is about.
Okay.
A child that was me saw two geese long ago on a bay at dusk. They'd arrived unannounced. A hush fell as we went wide. They'd glide side by side as two partners in flight. We would guess from Canada's space to our bay, then fly home again with the meanings designed of a line in the sky and a love we would learn from their flight. Soon years had passed by. One goose to our bay did return alone. Still, it would glide, remembering time summers ago. Then dawn saw it fly, not looking back on the bay. but the cold seems so empty. This song for the geese is the memory I hold of those days that were young, now grown
Very beautiful. Didn't seem a long time at all. I was like,
What did I don't know if any of you. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Nancy Donnelly, so nice. I don't know if any of you musicians out there hear what John did. He put an E in the bass against the F chord, and it created this amazing tension. Like if you were to go back and listen to it, it's almost like you don't pick it up when you're listening to it, but it creates this underlying. Oh God, it's just heaven. Just
who
heaven.
wrote that again? It wasn't Mark. It was
That's Sean Smith. He's a bass player in New York. It was originally done as a bossa,
oh,
and I did it again as a bossa. Mark did not. Mark's is beautiful. I mean, Mark's is gorgeous.
yeah, I've heard Mark's version.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah,
absolutely
it's beautiful.
stunning. Yeah, but in a different way, a whole different.
Yeah. Didn't Roger Treese do some kind? Wait a minute. What am I thinking of? Didn't Roger Treese have something to do with also the Song of the Geese? Or
I don't know. I do know the names. The names. There's a young lady in New York who did it too. She was on the memorial with me. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Like that's two things I can't remember.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for that. It is beautiful. Thank you so much, you guys.
yeah. Well, let's see, Roger. I guess I'm confused, which sometimes happens, especially now.
Tessa Suter.
Oh, Tessa Suter.
She recorded it as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's a sweetheart. Have you ever met Tessa?
yes. I knew her a long time ago. So, let's see.
I was worried about going 2 hours and
Nancy sent me this little text and she said, "What are we going to talk about for 2 hours?" I don't think I can.
I should know better.
I thought it was a joke. I answered her back, "Oh yeah, I know, really," or something like that. It's like, no problem. Yeah, I talked to Bobby Shue this weekend, and I could tell he was getting a little tired, but we kept talking, and it was like 2.5 hours, and I was like, okay, I can see he's he's getting a little tired. Let me stop. And,
Well, doesn't it get tiring for the folks listening as well?
I don't think so, because usually those conversations are really interesting. That's why they're pushing over the two. It's like right at the 2 hour mark, there's like something continuing. Jack Mouse and I had a longer conversation. Bevan Manson and I he could have gone on for 2 more hours, I think. Hi, Jay Clayton.
Hi, Jay. Oh, hi, Jay.
Oh,
Aw.
Jay. Love me some
There's
Jay.
Dina. Hi, Dina. Oh, hey, Dina. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you, girl. You'll find out what that is, everybody.
Oh, I can't wait. Dina's going to be on in August.
Her record is doing great. Have you heard it? It's terrific.
I have not heard it.
I'm a big Dina fan. I'm very, very big fan. Dina is another upstate burner. She was born and lived in Binghamton. Yeah. Kisses back. Hi. All our girls.
Oh, the tribe.
Yep. Well, we are. There's so few of us.
Yeah, I wish I could get Nancy King on here, but she's such a recluse. You know, it's just
Oh,
like,
more than me? I'm up here on this
oh,
lake. I don't even
oh,
talk to anybody.
a
Somebody said
thousand
hi.
times more.
Hmm?
1,000 times more of a recluse
We,
than you.
she's
She's a,
introverted too, but I'm quite introverted, believe it or not. When you see me so
it's hard.
outgoing like this, but I'm very introverted, and I have huge stage fright.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? My kids will say to me, I have stage fright. I said, well, let's stand up there together. I got it too. You'd never know. I mean,
No,
like when you looked at that Misty thing, I was just shaking in my boots.
but not once the music gets going.
Sometimes I'm not feeling good,
Hmm.
and if the guys are not kicking my ass, it doesn't mean it has to be loud. Kicking your ass can be in a ballad, it can be anywhere, and if they're not, then I feel pressured,
Yeah,
like I have to bring it,
right, right.
That's when it gets stressful when that happens.
That's an interesting thing, actually. That
Hmm.
is an interesting thing. I've had interesting manifestations over that, like on stage, and actually, when somebody's not bringing it, you know, and how I deal with it. It's a very interesting thing to do. I mean, I've had other, of course, we've all had other kinds of things, like me trying to match who's I can never remember his name. He's like a heavy stride piano player, very famous. And trying to match him, that is totally not my style. Then on the break, I just thought, screw it. I'll just do myself. And the next set was magic because that's what I should have been doing. I should have been doing myself. And then we meet in that aesthetic room. You
I
know,
think the most fun I ever had on the bandstand was with Eric Reed.
uh-huh.
Eric, what I loved about him is he did not cut me a break. Not to be a wise ass,
Yeah.
but
But
he knew I could keep up.
yeah. Hmm.
And it was such a stimulating thing. I went to places I never dreamed I could go. And I think Kevin Canner was on that date too, as well.
Yeah.
And the wonderful bass player, his name starts with a Trevor. Trevor?
Trevor Ware.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. So
What?
yeah, interesting. So, but there's times when you get up there with people that they're just not, they're paying the rent, man. They don't care about the gig, and it happens to all of us. It doesn't
Sure.
matter who you are, it happens to all of us.
Sure.
And so then I find myself overcompensating sometimes, and then I do come home tired because I've
Oh yeah, definitely.
hollered and I don't want to
Also,
holler.
it's a spiritual thing, You get tired because you're allowing um, the flows of attention. You're allowing them in because that's part of what we do normally. We soak in everything, right? We're empaths, and we soak in everything, and then
Yes.
that gets into the music. But one time I did a gig, myself and this guy Lewis Ball, and we were up catty corner from Motown, and on this gig, people from Motown came in after work, right? And I just
Then I go
felt
right into one of my fits. I would
well,
go
I
into a
felt
fit.
really weird. I felt like, oh, this white singer is singing with a black piano player. Who the hell does she think she is? I went home. I was totally exhausted. My first husband was very spiritually minded, and he said, "Here's what you do: you put an imaginary wall around you and the piano player. You create inside. You can flow out, but nothing can flow in." I did that, and it worked like that. It was such a great,
Wow, that's a good one.
yeah, it
That's
was
a good
so
one.
good.
I cover people with white light that are a pain in my butt.
Oh, that's great because affinity always changes stuff.
Hello,
That's
hello.
correct. Yeah.
But see, I rely so much when I am on the bandstand, and of course, jazz, as we all know, is the highest form of democracy there is. Everyone has a say. And getting back to that conversation that we had earlier, finding people that understand the subject. Okay, the subject is our love is here to stay.
Uh-huh.
That's the subject. And but what does this person say about it? And what does that person say about it? Are they all saying the same exact thing? We don't want that either. We want some thoughtful change, but we don't want it to be so opposing that it throws off the flow of the other thoughts and the other inputs, right? It's
Right.
such a delicate balance. On
Yeah.
the handstand.
Yeah.
It really is. And yeah, I mean, I have never been. I am not like the singer. I'm not like the singer out here.
No.
And then there's the band. Like I'm not Diana Ross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm another instrument when I'm.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You're a member of the band.
I want to be treated like that.
Yeah.
But you saw that going on in the Misty thing. We were going. People were all affecting one another up there when we did that.
Yeah, that's the best. I mean, that's the best experience as the audience, to observe that. It's like I said, when I was watching that, it made me miss being at a live concert. Why?
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
you get pulled into it and you actually get the visceral feeling of it,
Well, that's part of it. I tell people. I said, look, it's like a cheap amusement ride. They come in. They want to pay their 25 cents. They want to ride. Like we want to go on that ride. And they do because they spiritually want to experience your connection with source. Because what you're basically doing when you're in the zone, if you're lucky enough to get in the zone and everybody else is in the zone, what you're doing basically is going to the place where God is.
Right.
And they want to do that with you.
Right
They
on.
just don't want to pay their dues. They'll pay $25 though to go on that ride. Isn't that an odd way to look at it? But that's the way I look at it. I mean, and that's the oneness that we're all missing right now.
Yeah.
That's the oneness that we're all really struggling with.
Yeah.
Because I can sing, but there's no one receiving and returning.
That's why I'm not drawn into the room, because there's no promise of that. And we're not working towards that. That's the first time somebody said that.
Oh, yeah. Well, but also, I honestly don't do it for them. I'm doing it for the spontaneous creation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing it for that. That's my goal. They vicariously get drawn in because of the honesty. That's where they get drawn in because I'm having a ball. They're drawn into that. I don't ever. If there's nights when I Miles Davis them right out, man. Sometimes I don't even look at them.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be that way, but I can't I can't get to that place. If some guys go, he's sitting there and they're ordering a drink or their phone is, I'm like, oh man, what kind of place have we gotten to,
Well, Nancy Kelly, I would talk longer, but I actually have things to do.
Oh, well, this worked out just lovely, and I had a ball, and I hope everybody enjoyed all the inspiring things that we talked about, because we really hit on some good stuff.
We did. We heard on a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
You're just a big fat joy of mine. And
I am a big fat something or other. I'm not.
Well, I have skinny joys and fat joys. That's what I was really meaning. And you're
I know what you
Big for
meant.
me.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It was a joy, and I'll tell you what, seeing you again made my day and lifted my spirits a lot.
Oh,
So, and
yeah.
congratulations on your show. This is a wonderful idea. And I want to remind people that I do a live show on Sunday nights too. And we have many guests that are similar to the same thing you're doing.
Yes, your co-host said he wished that you would do your whole show in that low
That
sexy
voice. Well, I used to be a DJ. Oh, so here we go. We're talking over. I was, for a stint in my life, I was a DJ.
Yeah.
And I said, the new.
Oh,
Hi. And
really?
that
That was your
oh, yeah.
DJ voice?
Yeah, I had a DJ. Why? I don't know. Oh well, we're had a ball, and everybody stay safe. We're a long way from being out of this tunnel.
Yeah.
So everybody be
Don't
good.
even go there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
It's
just
such
saying,
an uplifting.
I'm wishing everybody to be safe.
Yes, yes, me too. And oh, and this is really important for you, those of you listening. So tomorrow, there was actually, so these kind of things happen, and you have to be good at improvising in your life. So tomorrow, I was supposed to have Kate McGarry, Lenora Hammonds, and Shauna Tucker, which was going to be fabulous. And they wrote down the wrong date. They thought it was today.
Well, can you do it on the date they wrote it on?
No, it was today.
Oh,
So that's well, I was like a little typing during this earlier on. I'm getting Dave Tull to fill in. Do you know Dave Tull?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Not personally, but yeah, yeah.
he's
Oh, he's a friend of mine on Facebook, I think.
he's so frigging talented. Dave Tull, great drummer. Now there was a drummer, by the way, earlier on. You might go back and talk to him about what he was asking. He said he's 76 and he wants to sing, but he's having a lot of physical problems. So maybe you should go find him. But anyway, oh, you did not. They did. You did. They did not. This is Kate McGarry. Okay, Kate, I get you. It's really too bad. But anyway, we'll just reschedule, no problem. But Dave Tull is a great drummer, not just a good drummer. He's a great drummer, and he's a great singer, and he's a great songwriter.
He is. He is.
He
Yeah.
writes funny stuff, and he writes non-funny stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's extremely talented, and he's played.
Well, that's going to be a great show. I might catch a little bit of that too. I have to teach tomorrow, though. I'm teaching, so.
Well, they're archived as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you can also just look at Facebook later, and you'll see it. But and Kate and Lenora and Shauna will be on, in another week or two. And just so Wednesday is John Beasley, great, unbelievably great pianist, arranger, music director, great. And then Thursday's my day off at the beach with my grandchildren. And Friday, Robert Kyle, who's an incredibly beautiful, talented musician, a woodwind player. Saturday, Eve Evans, who you would love Eve Evans, Nancy, personally and musically, but personally you would love each other. She's a very straight ahead woman. She's been around here for a long time. She plays her ass off, piano and sings fantastically.
Are you saying she's direct like me?
Yes. Yes, I am. And then Sunday is Alex Cole. Alexis, sorry,
cool.
Alexis.
Alexis, yeah.
Yeah, who's a great singer from New York.
She's got a beautiful voice.
Oh yeah, and she's
Beautiful.
a teacher, and she has that jazz. I forget what it's called, jazzvocal.com or something. It's like this thing that she threw together. Not too many teachers, probably about 12 or 15. Like I think Dana's on there. And anyway, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so that's Sunday, and I won't go on past that, but I'm looking forward to all of this.
Thank you very much.
I love you.
I love you too. I'll see you
And
soon. I
yeah.
love everybody out there. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow with Dave Tull.
I might catch a little of that.
Yeah.
Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, everybody? Bye-bye.